Alright, fellow Kaijudo duelists, this is Chris here from Team Squeaky here at Kaijudo Central. And today brought a lot of different news to us, right? As everybody knows, Wednesday is the day that Wizards tends to release different news, different things they want to take and get out there and things like that. Well, I popped out on Kaijudo.com and I noticed that the page had a whole different layout now. So I started to kind of take a look through it, and I realized specifically at the top menu piece, they now have a place called Events, which is really kind of cool because it kind of goes over, the set premiere on there. Then it's got Kaijudo Duel Day, Kaijudo Master Challenge, and the Kaijudo Championship, which you can click on and learn about a whole different things. It helps you find your store. It also has a cool thing here now called Get Recognized, which starting May 3rd, you'll earn points each time you participate in a sanctioned Kaijudo tournament, and the top duelist will be recognized here. It's kind of got a ratings and ranking system that says coming soon. But the biggest piece I picked up on this, and which I really want to take and talk about, is it's called Get the Rules. It's at the bottom of the page, right? You want to run a tournament in your store, click here for the Kaijudo tournament rules. And so I downloaded this, and I passed it out to my teammates, and we all started noticing several different things going on here, right? So I suggest that everybody downloads this and reads this because there are some definite changes that have gone on here, right? The first one that I really want to take and talk about is the play draw rule. As everybody knows, right, you determine who gets to sit there and choose either by rolling dice, paper, rock, scissors, flip a coin, whatever. Okay, and usually beforehand you could take a look at your hand and determine if you wanted to go first, or you wanted to go second. That's not the case anymore. In tournament mechanics, it's 2.2. It says play draw roll, and for the first game of a match, the winner of a random method such as die roll, coin toss, chooses either to play first or play second. The winner must state this choice before looking at his or her hand. If the winner states no choice, it is assumed that he or she is playing first. The player who plays first doesn't draw a card at the beginning of his or her first turn. This is referred to as the play draw roll. After each game in a match, the loser of that game chooses to either play first or play second in the next game. If the previous game was a draw, the player who chose at the beginning of that draw game chooses again. Okay, so you've got all those different things there, and so. That's definitely changed, right? Because beforehand, we could basically look at our hand first and determine, oh, do I want to go first or do I want to go second? 9 times out of 10, you go in first. You do get that occasional thing where you want to go second. But yeah, so, all right. So there are now, before we didn't have really time constraints. Well, now with organized play and all this is effective as it says on here, March 6th. Now we've got time constraints. The minimum time for a match that is supposed to be given is 40 minutes. The recommended time is actually 50 minutes. If you go down further, you'll see all these different pieces, right? It talks about electronic devices and how they can be used. It talks about being able to take notes and things like that. The biggest thing on taking notes, right, because you should be taking notes here or there, like if you're using Razor Kind of Puppet and things like that. When you're gaining information, you're supposed to be writing down these cards, right, and making sure you have that information. Hopefully, if you're a good player, right, and so. But when you start the next game, you have to get rid of that old piece of paper. You can't have those notes anymore. You got to go to a whole brand new sheet, right? And a judge can actually check that and check through your notes. So you definitely want to know that particular piece with this as well. Sorry, I'm continuing to kind of go through here with different things. You want to make sure that you're reading this because it talks about collusion and bribery. It gives 2 specific examples, like I'll read one here. In the finals of a Kaijudo Master Challenge that offers a travel reward and an invitation to the winner, the 2 finalists may agree to split the tournament prizes, but this agreement cannot alter the results of the match. One player must drop from the tournament, leaving the travel award and the invitation to the player who did not drop for the tournament. That player is then free to split the remainder of the prizes as agreed upon. The travel award invitation of a single item and may not be split. So you've got all those different things that are there. Definitely, read through this. They talk about slow play, deck construction. Now this is really kind of cool because set legality and ban cards. The following sets are permitted in Kaijudo constructed tournaments, and it's got each one labeled out. There are every set from TBR up to DSI is in effect. So definitely know that. Go look through this. It's really kind of cool because this is what a lot of us were taking and looking for. And just to give you guys a heads up too, a sanctioned event requires at least 4 players. So you at least have to have 4 players in order to have a sanctioned event that DCI will actually track and give you rankings for. So know that particular piece. And here talking about the time limits. The required minimum time for any match is 40 minutes. The following time limits are recommended for each round of a tournament. Constructed tournaments are 50 minutes. Single elimination, quarterfinal, or semifinal matches are 90 minutes. Single elimination final matches, there are no time limit. The head judge of a tournament is the final authority for time limits for a tournament. However, any deviation from these recommendations must be announced prior to and during tournament registration. Okay. So Kaijudo Premier tournaments may have different time limits. These time limits may be found in the tournament series fact sheet. So yeah. So I mean, there's a whole bunch of different things. It talks about the points, the tiebreaker explanations, and things like that. Basically, it follows Magic the Gathering on a lot of different rules and how things are going to take and go here. Nothing real new, nothing different than what I've seen being a judge for Magic. So, the one thing that I thought Kaijudo had that was pretty cool was being able to determine by looking at your hand first whether you wanted to go first or second. Now that's gone, so it's just going to follow on the same lines as Magic where you roll and pretty much you want to go first, right? So, but yeah. Anyways, so yeah, definitely go check that out. There are a whole bunch of other cool little tidbits, but that's really the piece that I kind of wanted to talk about because I felt that was the most exciting piece for myself when I was looking at what had just been announced. Like I said, there's a whole different layout now out there for Kaijudo.com. They did have a couple of different things, but I won't discuss that because I know I'll have some other channels that'll be around that'll talk about what else was announced today. But my biggest piece was talking about the organized play piece, talking about tournaments and things like that, and getting you guys information, getting you guys to read this information, because it's going to be very important to you when you go to these different events, whether it's the Premier event, Dual Days, KMCs, or Kaijudo Championships, right? You're going to want to know these rules, know how everything's supposed to sit there in place, that you're doing the right things, you're not making mistakes. So, alright, this is Chris, Team Squeaky here at Kaijudo Central. Peace. Laters.